Hi, I'm Gavin. Welcome back to my home, and I pray that you know that God is with you wherever you are in these uncertain times, as surely as God is with us in any other times. And I pray that these words that I'm preaching this morning encourage you in your journey following Christ. Amen. Our gospel reading opens with Jesus exhorting us to invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind whenever we hold a banquet. Jesus then tells a parable about a host inviting guests to a feast, and they all give various excuses. The host then invites the poor, the crippled, the lame, the destitute from the streets and lanes, and when they still don't fill the banquet hall, he exhorts any who will to come to the feast. A banquet. Can you imagine if the story were enacted today? You'd be named and shamed on your neighborhood WhatsApp group. You'd be reported and possibly even arrested, and rightly so. Unfortunately, we can't even throw a modest dinner for more than our immediate households during this COVID-19 lockdown. But at least we can invite all those who are in our household, if we're blessed to have lodgers, tenants, staff, and or our own or their extended families with us. At least we can reach out to help others further afield too, to at least get their daily meals. But Jesus goes on to be significantly more challenging in our gospel reading. He says, "Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and even life itself, they cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. None of you can become my disciple if you do not give up all your possessions." The context indicates that Jesus was talking to people who were already following him, but this teaching makes it clear that they were, if you like, casual followers. Jesus makes it clear that they totally misunderstand what it means to be a Christian, as he tells them and every subsequent believer the truth of his teachings. And he uses the first of his cannots. He says, "Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, and even life itself, cannot be my disciple." Reverend Dr. Steve Griffiths explains how the rabbis would use the word hate to indicate a lesser love. Jesus is saying we need to love him more than we love our relatives, more than we love our own lives. And this isn't a statement about how we feel. It's a statement about our commitment for Jesus to be our priority in our lives, in all things, before all other relationships, before all our personal dreams and ambitions. The sacrificial nature of this call is re-emphasized in Jesus' second cannot. He says, "Whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciple." This would have made the crowd gasp in horror. They'd seen criminals crucified, executed in shame and horror. They knew what Jesus was asking. Jesus was using this as a metaphor for saying a final goodbye to all our own desires and ambitions that we need to set aside if we choose to follow him. Jesus wants disciples who are committed and prepared to live sacrificially for others, like he showed us to. The test of true discipleship is how we respond in times like now. Are we still committed to obey God when the cost to us is high? Jesus' third cannot is, "None of you can become my disciple if you do not give up all your possessions." We want something to soften the blow, to make this teaching easier for us, but Jesus doesn't offer us that option. The Christian life demands strength to love, and when we carry a cross, it demands that we give up everything for God. Again, surely you might ask, this is just too much. Has there ever been anyone who's done this to perfection? The best example is Jesus Christ. He is our model. Growth in discipleship is about growing in imitation of Christ, as Thomas à Kempis writes. It's about becoming more and more Christ-like in our thoughts, in our actions, and in our loving others. And yes, of course, this involves sacrifice and hard work. But if we take the first step, Jesus enables us to follow him, just as he enabled his disciples. The same risen Christ who revealed himself to the disciples, who calmed their fears, reveals himself to those who take just a step of discipleship in faith with him. Christ is with us in our uncertainties, as he has been for many, many, many people since, and Jesus walks with us into the new life that he brings. This is the invitation for you and for me. Amen.